All right, come on in. Yeah, come on in here. Oh wow. Let me get the comments up because we are on Facebook as well, and so I want to give everybody a good few minutes to get those notifications and join us for this absolutely fabulous motivational Monday message because it ducktails off of what God did today, just today. And I've got to give y'all the example of just how fast he restores each time the enemy tries to, yeah, each time the enemy tries to derail our progress. God's like, get out of the way. You're like, get out of the way. Remember the analogy I have for our Heavenly Father? You know, God's Spirit on the inside of us, right? Yeah, because I can see him doing it. I can see him doing it each and every time. He's like, oh, heck no. Because I can see him doing it. Yeah, I can see God saying, heck no. Take them work gloves off. He's like, hold up a second. The tennis rackets. Oh, man, let me tell you. Because as we go through the detoxing journey, to get our bodies, yes, levels and on the inside, the heat and everything back to what's supposed to be, yeah, normal. Okay, so that radio frequency manipulation out there, it's no longer going to work on us. See, I experienced that already. That's why I can tell y'all that yes, it is going to happen. You just got to keep going. And I'm going to tell y'all the detox and the spiritual awakening, not for the faint of heart. Because you're going to experience some things and some things not so pleasant, but you're becoming aware of them. So like, okay, my autonomic nervous system, we're learning how it responds to these things. Okay, and that's good. That's awesome. So today I'm doing laundry. And exactly. So all is good, right? All is good to go, and we're fine. We did the daily self check-in. We put on the armor of God. That's right. Thanking Him for another day. And so we gather our laundry, and I'm going to give you all the story and the inspiration. But remember, the Motivational Monday messages are set up for advertising. So you're going to see some short breaks to let y'all know what we got going on. All right. So here is the intro, if you will. Get the formalities out of the way. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Motivational Monday Show. That's right. Streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance and Facebook at Consulting for Heightened Awareness. Yes, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency for healthier living. Remember, it's more than a mission now here at CHA. Yeah, we got a movement going on, and this is all part of it. So this is the good news. This is what y'all got to look forward to for those who have not gotten to this phase yet, if you will, or layer of the onion. Okay, remember, detoxing is pulling back layers of an onion, a large onion. All right, and just hang tight because you're going to make it to this point. And God reminded me of when I made it to this point before and how I had experienced these same sensations during a particular season of my life. And then, okay, right, and we realized that it's not an unfamiliar feeling. So it becomes easier to deal with as we remember, okay, I remember my body behaving that way during a season of my life. And I remember when I used to put salt on everything. I used to add salt. Oh, yeah, I wanted my French fries extra salty. I remember that season. Oh, yeah, raise your hand. Okay? All right, we do remember that. And the thing is, we were not aware then what the salt was doing to our body. But see, once we start changing our eating habits and start eating healthier, right? Yeah, there you go. We got to keep on keeping on. And you're going to make it to this point, all right? So let me go ahead and recap for y'all. Okay, for some of y'all may not have heard this yet. All right, you're going to go through what I call surges, because we are exposed to radio frequency on a daily basis. There's no escaping it. I don't care where you go. Okay, yeah, that garbage truck with the low vibration of the can hitting the top, right? That low, and then the backing up, beep, beep, beep. Okay, it's everywhere. Right? You are not going to escape it, but you can mitigate the effect, right? Reduce the exposure where you can. Reduce your exposure. That's step one in the how to detox course, which is what you're going to learn a little bit more about. Okay? Yep, you're going to learn a little bit more about that later on, because it is the most important one, is to take a moment and look around you. What all is emitting frequency, right? Refrigerators, microwaves, phones, your smartphones, your PC, LED lights. I mean, take an inventory. All right, there you go. Take an inventory. Look around. All right, what we got that emit frequency. Now, mind you, each and every one of these items operate in the same normal range, or it's considered a normal range. But as we're detoxing, because we're getting rid of the body's excess salt, remember, metals are salt. And so there's different kinds. You can look at the periodic table, okay, of chemistry, and you'll see that there's a lot of metals, and they're all salts. So we want to be mindful of that. And it's tough to find that balance, though, within. But God does it. God does it for us. We don't even have to think about it. Okay, so you're going to go through those surges, and what that is just when you're exposed and you have too much salt in the body, and you are exposed to frequencies, okay, that may be out of range or even in the normal range for a little while, because you might be it's not that you're sensitive to it, no, it's that your body's internal temperature is being manipulated with that salt, right? It's going to be warmer than it should be on the inside, and so you want to do things to cool it down. Put ice cubes in your beverage. Okay, take a break from eating your food piping hot. I know it can be tough, but cold chili is not bad. I'm telling you, because that's what I've been eating on, and yeah, it's fine. Okay, but we are right. We're not eating our foods piping hot. We're taking a break periodically from spicy. Okay, because I learned that I was contributing to it. I was like, oh, I need to lay off on the spicy for a little while. And that's okay. But God did say that after one particular surge, he said, I need you to put a little bit of hot sauce on that because we need to get this circulated. That's God hastening things on his time. Remember what he says in Isaiah 60:22, right? We're going to read that. We're going to cover that. All right, but we go through surges, okay, because it's another layer of the onion that's being pulled back for our bodies to readapt and get to its normal state with the level of salts on the inside should be it should be very minor, because we do need some. It is a necessary electrolyte for our muscles. And so we're going to have salt in the body. We're not going to get rid of all of it because we consume salt still too. We're just watching how much we consume while we go through this detox. And then beyond. But see, I would tell you, after we're done with the detox, you're already going to know. You're going to instinctively know when you got a hold of too much salt, because your body's going to go, remember that feeling? Yeah. So you're going to know, because you're becoming aware. Going through that detox, you are also becoming aware of how your autonomic nervous system is responding to things. That's what's happening. So the first surge, when we started the detox, it took him about 24 hours to restore us back to the first, let's just say the first phase of progress. He got us back, leveled back out. But he also improved something else along the way. See, that's how God works. See, he not only restores quicker, but he also restored a little further beyond. He was like, because the enemy trying to derail, and God's like, God steps in. He's like, no, we ain't having that. And so after the second surge, God restored about 12 hours. He slashed that in half. Okay. And now the timing between the surges, it's going to be different for all of us because of our circumstances, being at work or what have you. So this particular hastening on God's time may look a little bit differently for you all. So please, okay, understand that too. Because after you go through the first surge, some of y'all it might take 48 hours. It just depends on where, how long you were exposed, all kinds of little things go in. I'm just giving you this as a motivational message, okay, to show you this is how God does it. After the third, okay, see, 24 hours. I kept tabs on this. And I was like, I see what God's doing, because I could feel it on the inside. Because that's the Godhead on the inside, right? He's the one doing it. So after the third surge, 6 hours. Okay, the fourth surge, another slash and a half, 3 hours. The fifth one, 1.5 hours. Yep, the sixth one, 45 minutes. And then now, today was the seventh surge, and it's within minutes of getting back in here. Yep. So basically now, where we're at is that anytime we are exposed, right, a lot of the effects are going to start to wear off as soon as we leave the environment that we were exposed to the higher RF. The moment we leave, likely get back in the car, the restoration starts as soon as we are out of that environment. And so that's going to happen more and more until the rest of the excess salt, gets out of the body. Because once the excess salt is out of the body, the frequencies out here will not affect us like that anymore. It shouldn't. Because we'll be aware, right? We're becoming more aware of where the highs are, where the lows are. Okay. And so that leads us to today, because when I got back in here after going and getting that laundry going, get that laundry going, and as soon as I got back in here, God was already on it. I was walking back to here because I had to stop by the office and have my unit added to the bug man list for preventive maintenance. So one of the nice ladies there was interested in that. So I was in that environment with those frequencies and giving her a little education about that, because she was interested. She's like, okay, because I truly believe, y'all, that the older we get, we want to feel better, right? And we want to take better care of this temple for the Holy Spirit, because that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. Let me go ahead and check on y'all over here in the chat, because I'm going to get up. Okay. That's a good point. Thank you, Steve, for pointing that out. Drinking water that is filtered by salt. Good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Because that is, yep. Thank you, Chris, for putting that verse up in there in the chat for us. Yeah, any kind of metal can be used to form salt. Absolutely correct. All right. Yep. Detox. Yep, something of the old you returns for a spell. Well, yeah, just kind of because you become familiar. Okay, you become familiar with. Okay, I remember there was a season of my life. This is what I remember was my normal at that time. You see, because at that time we thought that was normal, right? Before God awakened them. Okay, so as we're talking about the detox, I highly encourage y'all to check this course out. So stay tuned to hear more about how God quickens this stuff, how he restores even faster and faster every single time the enemy tries to throw a fiery dart when we come back.
Are you tired of feeling sluggish and ready to take back control of your health? CHA Academy BTBW.com has a course for you. CHA Academy's How to Detox from Trauma Nutrition course will provide you with fundamental tools and information to help you overcome traumatization from radio frequency poisoning and narcissistic abuse. We are subjected to toxicity from radio frequency and narcissism daily. Detoxing from the trauma is part of CHA's combat against radio frequency poisoning for healthier living. You can learn more about the How to Detox from Trauma Nutrition course at CHAacademyBTBW.com and clicking on all courses. The link to the academy is also listed below for quicker access. I look forward to seeing you at CHA Academy, where iron sharpens iron with fellow spiritual warriors for Christ. Sending love and light always.
All right. Welcome back. Okay, so we're talking about how God restores as we're going through the detoxing from radio frequency. So it brings us to the present. So as I got back from putting the clothes in the washer, and after being exposed for at least a good half hour of discussion about some of that, and she was asking questions and I was answering and things like that. So it was like, okay, whenever somebody hears that there's other explanation for why they're feeling what they're feeling, it resonates because they're like, okay, because no one else. They may have gone to several different specialists and still couldn't get an answer over something. But the radio frequency can explain it. You see? So, I get back, and I knew it had been at least a half hour or so, so I had to grab my basket with the fabric softener in it, because it was time to go put them in the dryer. But as I came in here, I felt some of that dissipating already, just within minutes. But I had to go back to the laundry room. This time going in, right, there was another person doing laundry, and they had music playing on their phone. Some song, I don't even know what it was, but it was frequency, right? Okay. And then the beeping of the washers and dryers as you're making your payment, right? And the green button comes on, you have to hit the start button, right? After your payment has processed. Beep, beep. Remove chip card. All right. So anyhow, all very minor, but just enough to activate a few areas on my body where we're still eliminating excess salt. And so as I'm walking back, I could feel it, and I went, well. But I also did something else today that I haven't done. Well, let's just say that I have not done intentionally before. See, when I recorded the audiobooks that are on the website, that was done in the car office, except for the magazine. I think the magazine got done in one of the hotel rooms on a business trip. Now, right, because I was in the car doing those, it was a little warmer outside. I didn't have direct sunlight on me. I turned my car where the sun was behind, but it was still warm enough to where I'm in there, and about every 30 to 40 minutes, I had to pause the recorder and roll that window down. I mean, I was breaking out into a sweat, so God brought that back to my remembrance, because I was thinking about looking up a spot to go and sit in a sauna. And God said, you ain't got to pay for that. And so just go sit in your car for a little bit. Oh, of course. Now, I understand the BPA and the plastic and stuff like that. She educated me on that. And so that's why I realized then that God said 30 minutes is about enough. And it was enough. Because when I got out, oh my goodness, so where I had the most sweat, let me know. I got a shower after that, okay? But it let me know, okay, this is where and the fact that I'm able to sweat that out is part of the detoxing. But it was intentional after I got back from a quick walk. So I was like, all right, so we did that today too. So you see, how God's doing all of that. And so when I went to get the clothes out of the dryer, upon walking right back in here and putting the clean clothes down on the couch that turns into a bed, it's a futon of sorts, I guess. And as I'm walking around in here, and I get myself some cold water to drink, got bottled water in the fridge on hand. There's a tip for somebody who needs it. Right? If you don't have an ice maker, or you are a small space, what have you, okay, if you don't have ice readily on hand, okay, I save the ice that's in the ice trays in the freezer for to put inside that tumbler to keep my juice cold during my walk. So I have bottled water in the fridge, keeping cold water on hand, so that when I'm exposed to that, right, because I could feel it on the body. I felt a slight surge while I was in that front office, though. See, I could feel the tingling in the area where I had the most sweat after sitting in the car. My calves. So that lets me know, this is what we need to do. We need to show them suckers a little more love. All right, cold packs, what have you. So after getting that cold water, right, as soon as I get cold water right in there, boom, everything loosed. Not everything, but y'all get my drift. Everything relaxed. Because there's another thing that God had me do before getting out there and around. That's right, that diaper rash ointment on some areas of the body. Yep. So all of that for today, how God just restored it all. And so by the time I'm up here sharing it with y'all to keep you motivated. That's right. Because I asked myself, well, what is today's motivational message? And he said, what did we do today? Okay. Yeah. He said how God does it quicker and quicker and quicker. And then, not only that, right, and then some. Like another slight level up in where I need to be applying a little bit more self-care. And then also reminding me of when that was my normal. And that's why it feels familiar. And so we also had a intermittent fasting. And so, right, y'all are going to hear more about this. Because Chris, when we get the next episode ready, we're going to talk about this more. Because it is part of the detox. And you'll hear about it in the fun fact video. Okay, stay tuned. Yeah, we've got it ready. We just haven't gotten it in there yet. It's already done. Because intermittent fasting and grazing will help tremendously. Because you will give your body, digestive system, a break. Because you got to remember something about radio frequency. All that salt that's on the inside of there. That body's internal heat gets a little too high. And so it's going to interfere with proper digestion. So it's good to, at some point, give that body a little bit of a break. So when I say graze, I'm talking about have a veggie tray with some protein on it. And on and off through the day. A bite here, when you feel a little snacky, right? So if you're feeling a little snacky, that's what we've been doing. And so that's where the cold chili comes in. And then I had some shrimp and some no salt added tuna, broccoli, cherry tomatoes, baby carrots, celery. Okay? And then in the center, I made a flaxseed oil and apple cider vinegar dipping mix with some turmeric and minced garlic. No salt added. No salt added. And so that's my tip. Okay? On the days that you're able to do that, I want you to do that because it works. And it does. It helps you level up, but it also helps us gain back something that we may have lost in a previous season. And for me, my ability to sweat, and we know why that is, because as part of the autonomic nervous system, our sympathetic nervous system is there too. And that is what's responsible for natural sweating. Some of y'all may not have that issue. I have that issue because of what happened almost a year ago. But it's been restored. You see, that's what I'm talking about. When God restored, he restored even more. So it's like, got us back to where we need to be and beyond by doing that. Because you want to sweat out the excess salt. Okay? You do. But that's one of the best ways. Because you're only going to go to the bathroom so many times in a day, right? There you go. All right, so we want to, do as much as we possibly can. And so you can't be afraid to sweat and go through the detoxing because it's going to happen. And you may, for some of you, might have to induce it like I had to go and do intentionally. I had to induce it because I'm on my walks and I feel me working one up. But I was like, okay, this is not enough. That's why God said, So he reminded me of when I did the audiobook in the car and how, oh, yeah. Yeah. I had to change my clothes when I got back to the house. Yeah, I had to put dry clothes back on. So I was like, And it's good to remember. Now, if you do that, again, if you're going to do the car sauna, I would recommend no more than 30 minutes. No more than that. If you find yourself within 20 minutes, good, get out. Not too fast. Remember, you were sitting for a decent amount of time. So be mindful how you get out of that car, okay? Because you're sweating out excess salt. And here's what I did, okay? Because I knew too, because our circulation is improving, but it takes time. So if you're going to do the car sauna, when you get out of the car, bring both feet out slowly, like you're sitting, okay? Have both feet on the ground. You can help yourself up with that car door, but stand there for a minute and let the circulation. You can even lift your legs for a little bit, okay? That's what I did to get that circulation rolling again before you start walking back to wherever it is you got to go. Very important tip right there, okay? Because when you're detoxing, remember that salt is a stiffener. And even though I was sitting there with a towel and a big cup of ice water, see, ice water helps to induce that too. So I knew that my circulation, but I moved my legs around a little bit here and there, but I knew it wasn't going to be enough. So when I got out, I knew to just stand still for a minute, let the circulation pick back up, and then I could walk back in here. All right? Be mindful, okay? Because the detox process, it is no joke. Okay? It is not something that you can rush. There's things that you can do. Yeah, no, I'm talking about sweating. Okay. Yes, okay, because we're going to talk more about that because when God revealed to me, He said, I need you to give that digestive system some breaks so that He can continue to do what He needs to do up in there, okay, as far as repairing and restoring. That's right. Yep. And so repairing and restoring. And y'all can always learn more about all this radio frequency stuff on our Patreon channel. You unlock a lot of value for as little as $5 a month. You're about to find out more about that. So stay tuned as we continue to talk about how God, how He quickens things, how He hastens things on His time, and He restores faster and faster and faster. When we come back.
CHA's Patreon membership channel is another place you can support this ministry and work for as little as $5 a month. When you become a member of CHA's Patreon membership channel, you will unlock access to a lot of content that will help you purge that subconscious mind of worldly garbage to make room for more of God's wisdom. We have been lied to since birth about a lot of things. On CHA's Patreon membership channel, we make real-world connections to the spiritual realm and more. The link to CHA's Patreon membership channel is listed on the My Social page of the website at CDHRWDRMD.org, also linked in the description below. Thank you for becoming a loyal member of CHA's Patreon channel. Sending love and light always.
No need to feel embarrassed about that, okay, fellow warriors? No need to feel embarrassed about that because we are adults. Come on now, it's real talk. We are adults. There is not, it just is what it is. And so God does restore a lot faster. He does. He restores a lot faster all the time because, He tells us that. And Chris put it in the chat also. The Isaiah 60:22, right? It is. It's a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. That's us, this growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. We're becoming a strong nation. Glory be to God. And He said that I, the Lord, will hasten it in His time. I know I say on His time, but it's in His time. Like when God sees we're ready. Boom, 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 boom. Because He sees that we are following His instructions. I want y'all to think about that for a minute. When you are in obedience to God and you are letting Him guide your steps, and He sees that you are obeying, like when He told me how to get out of the car. That was God guiding my step. When He tells me I need to move around a little bit while standing up here, that's God guiding my step. He's ordering my steps. He's the one telling me when I need to move around a little bit. He says, I need some circulation over here. I'm working on something. While the Holy Spirit delivering the message. And so you can see that it's getting quicker and quicker. And as we continue to be hastened in His time as a growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ, and we learn from one another, and as we're detoxing, and we get exposed, we start to notice where. And that's a good thing because it's all part of that heightened awareness. See, because the more aware you become of where the frequencies are coming from, you can break the negative association that the autonomic nervous system has with that sound. Yes, you can. That's why it's a good thing. It's all part of God's revelation to tell us what's been happening our entire lives. That we were being manipulated with radio frequency, to believe this, to believe that, to go along with this, to go along with that. And then God awakens us and that subconscious says, hello, what are we doing here? It ain't going back to sleep. I don't care what the enemy tries. And so, yeah, it's like, we're not going to let it, because it's like, hold up a second. All right, now what? Because narcissists, and then we learn we're chosen children of God, and that the narcissist, the reprobate mind, because they don't retain God in their knowledge, and they continue to take their pleasure in their unrighteousness. So they get turned over to strong delusion. You know, God is a promise keeper, and this is what we're seeing, okay, in the physical and in the spiritual. And so now we know, you know, with radio frequency, it's always best for anyone who wants to learn more about that, and you do some research, okay? It is always best to start with the physical side first, because you can understand that quicker, and unless you're with us the whole time and you understand where I'm coming from with the radio frequency and the spiritual, because we are in a spiritual battle for the mind. Never forget that radio frequency is used for what? Mind control. That's not a secret. That's out there. So, right. That be the toddler in adult body. Their mind get perfectly programmed. And they continue to behave badly and take pleasure in their unrighteousness. And never forget something, y'all. These narcissists, they're quick to point out other people's bad behaviors, but not recognize the moot in their own eye. This is why we, chosen ones, go through that season or so of doing the inner work before we can even get up here and start preaching, because we cannot even get up here and start exposing their bad behaviors without recognizing some of the bad habits that we picked up from them and what we were taught by the world. We have to unlearn a lot of that. And it takes time. I know. It does. It takes time. I'm there with you. There's still more to purge. The renewing of the mind is a transformational process. It takes time, because we are relearning, you know, things around us, all around us. What do we do? Right? So we have to be mindful. But when God sees that we are obeying Him, we gave full control over to God. We let go and let God. Walking and living by faith. When He sees that, oh, He sees your determination. He sees that dedication. Remember, God is a dedicated God. Let's drop that in the comments below. Say, God is a dedicated God. Because He is. He sees His chosen one. All right. All right. He sees that we're ready for the next level, because we're obeying. A good example I have for you all is when God steps in and reminds me, says, okay, I know that I restored that and a little extra in that area, but you still got to take it easy. See? He says, I still need you to take it easy. And He said, don't you go rushing. Because remember, when we get into God's reality, we realize we ain't got to rush nothing. We don't have to rush like that with the rush of the Matrix, which you'll learn more about on the Patreon channel with that too. Because it gives off that appearance of moving faster than it really does. The enemy is all about appearances. So we learn to see beyond now. Because we're not living and walking by sight. Because we're being able to see through the deceptions on this world stage. So we understand more. Okay. And so to get closer to God in this ministry, that's what it's all about. Because remember also that as we increase in nutrition with every increase in God, with God, on the inside out. And so he does have us get some things, obtain some supplement. And so, that's what he revealed to me yesterday when I started doing the grazing thing, this little tray of some proteins and vegetables. Because I started out with a red apple. I cut the pieces off and sprinkled some, almond butter on them. And that was breakfast. So there's a combo for somebody that's very nutritious. The apple, I would say, had very, very little sodium, if at all. Okay? I don't know why you would put people do that. I know I have seen, and I've done it before, added salt to fruit, but not anymore, obviously. But almond butter or peanut butter. If you are able to eat peanut butter, that's just an avoid item on my diet. So I got almond butter. Yeah. And it's just as good on that red apple or green apple, whatever apple you like. And so that's what I had. And then he told me to make the grazing tray. I said, okay. I said, well, how come I wasn't? It's not I'm questioning God, but I was like, so I wonder why I didn't do this sooner. Oh, right, because God needed me to have a supplement base put together. The magnesium, right? Boswellia, vitamin C. He needed me to have that stuff in place and be taking it for a decent amount of time. So now we can graze. And we're still eating. We're still getting a decent amount of protein in, but we have protein, but we're just very small, like nibbling throughout the day. And then in the evening, he said yesterday, go ahead and get some more of that chili out and add some brown rice noodles to it for a light. Well, I made a whole serving, but I was only able to eat half of it. That's another tip on how to get back to your portion and to be monitoring your portion on how much. That grazing will help a lot because just in one day of doing that intermittent fasting, right? I mean, it's like I wasn't walking over to that tray every 5 minutes. No. I would get to work and do some other stuff, and then I'd go visit the tray if I felt snacky. Yes, I had my superfood juice while on the walk as well, so I got a nice dose of those veggies. And we're getting that nutrition back because that's helping with the detox. They help put the good stuff in, get the bad stuff out. That's what it's all about during the detox. And so, it's going to take time. Let's see, I started detoxing November of 2023. And we've come a long way. I tell you that. Yeah, talk about the wrong end of the stick. All right. Yes, thank you, Chris. Matthew 18, verse 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there among them. Yes, God is a dedicated God. Good job. All right. And then that really is. Yep. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, where we're gathered in the name of Jesus, he is here. And that's another good point, that the deception of the matrix to appear to be moving faster than it really is and to be bigger than it really is. I'm here to tell y'all, the more we're in God's reality and the more we're like exploring in the spiritual, being spiritually minded, we're starting to realize that matrix is not as big as it wants us to think it is. It's not. Yep, almond butter with the unsalted rice cake. There you go. And that's it. That right there, basically a 0 milligram of sodium right there, snack. And then the apple, or strawberries, whatever fruit. Really, I mean, I don't know about pineapple, but I know chocolate and pineapple work. But we want to, I think all natural chocolate pretty much works with any fruit, if you think about it. Yeah. And remember, cocoa is alkaline. See, that's the other part, y'all. Okay, God revealed to me that I know it's really challenging to have the perfect pH balance on the inside of the body, but we got to trust God. That's why He had us get a bigger container of cocoa powder, because we put that in our protein shake sometimes for the alkalinity, and there's a good dose of potassium in that. And those cocoa beans carry a lot of potassium. So we're increasing the potassium, decreasing the sodium, so we can eliminate the excess salt that's in the body, so it stops responding to the radio frequency manipulation out there. And so, yeah. All right. And so for anybody, well, see, remember, detoxing, okay, detoxing from trauma requires breaking trauma bond. So stay tuned while we wrap up how God moves things quicker and quicker every time the enemy tries to derail our progress when we come back.
Are you still getting trauma bonded to narcissists? Do you want to learn how the trauma bond is formed? The course, How the Trauma Bond is Formed at CHA Academy is for you. We hear about how the trauma bond is like a drug addiction, but what does that mean? With a background in forensic toxicology, I answered that question in How the Trauma Bond is Formed at CHAAcademyBTBW.com. Once you know the trauma bonding process is simply a manipulation of the brain chemistry to keep people emotionally dysregulated, you will never allow another love bomb to manipulate your dopamine again, and in turn never get trauma bonded to another narcissist. The link to the course is also listed in the video description. I look forward to seeing you at CHA Academy, where iron sharpens iron, with fellow spiritual warriors for Christ. Sending love and light always.
Hey, I'm just participating in the chat during the break. And I understand that there's, some people, I want to say thank you to all who do understand that we must advertise. Okay, we've got to. Y'all aren't going to know what we got for you if you don't, and yeah, I know some people jump off when I put an ad up, and that's fine. But I will tell y'all this, that, we got to promote, right? That 5th P. Remember, God is the author of the 5 P. We've got a course for that too. And don't forget, the link to CHAAcademyBTBW.com is listed below, and you can click on all courses, and the courses and membership will pop up. And for those who need this information, you can make the one-time payment or 5 monthly installments, whatever works for you for the courses. The membership is, you can either do monthly or annually. If you do the annual, you save 25%. So there you go. And but yeah, that's a great point, that the enemy making things look bigger than they really are. Right? That is an element of idolatry, absolutely. But it's also deception and making things appear bigger than they really are. Well, I mean, yeah, it is a form of tricking people into developing high-mindedness, right? Thinking things are bigger than they are. Because I know that when we first launched our website, I know there were some people that were coming out of the woods, flooding my email because they were viewing CHA as being bigger than it really is. Because I remember, yes, when the let's just say that in that season where the interviewer was trying to make our YouTube channel look bigger than it was by saying, yeah, you've got a gigantic YouTube channel, don't you? And I was like, well, I wouldn't call it that, but it's growing. Oh, yeah, we nipped that right there. Because, yeah, people can hop on over and they can see, right, how many are part of this community, because I have to keep that public. Right? I mean, I don't have to. I could turn that off. In fact, for the Patreon channel, I did turn the number off. Because if a person doesn't want to join us on the Patreon channel, if they don't want to become a loyal member, unless they see that we have others over there, that would be a narcissist. Let that sink in. Because I'm going to tell y'all, Chosen One, when we find somebody and we fully support them, we're going to support them regardless of how many followers they got. Because God don't care about that. God wants to see his chosen one coming together, that strong nation. Right? He'll hasten it in his time. So he wants to see us come together. Because anybody who goes and says, oh, well, I don't think I want to join that community because I can't see how many people are there. Why would the chosen one? We don't care about that. Because God don't care about that. Only a narcissist would. Because a narcissist wants to get in there and they want to have an audience inside of our community. But they're only going to do it if we've got X amount of members or subscribers. Yeah, God don't care about that. So the reason I highly suggest those who are interested in growing with us to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can attend live when you can, so you can catch the content that gets uploaded. We're pretty active on YouTube. Yeah, and we are very active on Patreon too. Thank you for your patience on the Patreon's Truth Analyzer podcast episode. I believe we're on 33, and I will be getting to that. Okay, so thank you for your patience because you unlock access to that podcast as well on the Patreon channel. Yeah, I mean, really fantastic value over there as well. We carry on. Like, we branch out. We branch out. So we're talking about radio frequency a little here and there. And then we really go into detail on the Patreon channel. And I break an article down in 3 parts for you all that I discovered when I had to do a crash course in Physics 101 and learned about the law of reflection and, oh my goodness, all of that. Yeah. It's a lot to take in, and it takes time. But we're bringing you tons of educational value there too. I share testimony. I share case study results. We have sermons over there. That's right. And for the free member side, I do put up short videos. But you unlock access to longer form content when you become a paying member. So, yeah. And so I wanted to cover that today. I wanted to give you all that info because it's very, very important to give you all these examples. Because like I said earlier, when I asked God, I said, what is today's motivational message? And he said, well, what do we do? We made it to that 7th stage where now any exposure that is going to activate, if you will, some of those metals that are still in the body in a certain area, God's going to restore that within minutes, especially getting back in here. And then he does slowly reintroduce us. He has me turn my ringer on the business phone sometime so that I start getting used to hearing unexpected sounds. Like when I get an email, when I get a notification on that phone. But because that phone's not near as busy as the other one, I mean, they're both work phones, but however, he says start with that one. Have me turn it on every once in a while. So I get used to hearing, like if I'm doing something, so I get used to hearing unexpected, right? Expect the unexpected. So I get re-familiar with things that are in the normal range. Okay? He's going to do that. So it's pretty much simultaneously. When you get that 7th surge and he restores within minutes, okay? Restores within minutes, and another little level up takes place. He's also going to introduce us. It's kind of like a double deal. It's not a double whammy, it's a double deal. Okay? The double whammy was being traumatized by the radio frequency and narcissist. That was the double whammy, both on the individual level and the societal level. But when God does this, it's a double deal. Double for your trouble. That's what God said. That's what it looks like too. Right? Okay, restores within a minute, and then a little level up, and then start to reintroduce us to frequencies that are in the normal range. Glory be to God, because that's how he does it, from the inside out. And so that wraps up today's motivational message, you all. Yeah, so keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Because we are living examples that you're going to get to this point. For those who have not already gotten there. And those of you who have, you know what I'm talking about. And those of you who are past this and you are completely detoxed, you know what I'm talking about. It's a process. So we got to keep on keeping on. Keep eyes on Jesus and let God do what God knows to do, because he's the only one that knows how. We don't. Okay? Yeah. With God, all things are possible. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Motivational Monday Show. That's right. Streaming on the YouTube channel, Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, and Facebook at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency for healthier living. Yes, trauma healing and spiritual growth occur with God's wisdom, basic scientific facts, tried and true technique, and more here and at CDHRWDRMD. I highly encourage y'all to check that out. The link is listed below. Some of you may need to copy and paste the link to view what CDHRWDRMD offers to help you level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.